Hey, I put episode 206. Actually, we're 306 on our odd musings. I just noticed that. I didn't mistyped it when I was putting it in this morning, but we are 306. So
Nice that we're at episode numbers where we can be off by 100 when we make a typo.
yeah, look, I'm fixing it now though. 306. That's funny on that. So how you doing today, Scott?
I am doing well. Just been a really busy and good week for real estate. We got two houses that went up on the market this week, so I'll talk about those when I get to the ad segment. But as we always say, this is a Super Bowl time for real estate. Spring is now moving closer to summer. People are thinking about moving, so yeah, I'll talk about that in a moment. But that's been good. And
let's start off with that.
Let's go with it.
Here, let me run this by you real quick. I've noticed you've been busy the last couple of weeks. This is great. It's one of those things that when you're in business for yourself, especially in something like real estate, you are subject to the market and everything else. Yeah. What has changed in the last few weeks versus the previous few months, other than just, this is a better time of year? Is there something else to say? Because all I keep hearing on different things is, the news today was all about how we are close to defaulting as a country.
Yes.
They're trying to raise the debt ceiling, and how that affects all of us, So what is...
Yeah. I think now I'm talking anecdotally, because based upon my interactions, but here's we are at all-time lows for inventory right now in real estate. And I'll just throw it out there. Scott Zambelli, Team Titans Real Estate. We service Macomb, Oakland, St. Clair counties, a little bit of Wayne County. But anywhere you are, give us a call, 586-232-5144. Jill and I will take good care of you, refer you if we don't work that area. But regarding real estate, we have been in a severely low inventory amount for a while. And every month we hit a new record low. It is just dropping, which means the supply is low. But the demand is still the same. People need houses. And so I think what's changed, though, is a lot of buyers are fighting over the few houses there are. But it feels like, at least to me and from the people I'm talking to, people who have been thinking about selling their homes, I think they're feeling a little more motivated to do so right now. Mm-hmm. Because like the Fed announced interest rate hikes for them, which usually mortgage rates follow behind that. So usually higher mortgage rates means lower price. So people who have second homes, investment properties, things like the two listings we got. One is a landlord he fixed up the house and now he's selling it. The other one is a lakefront property. It was a second home for the people. I think people are unloading those type of properties now while they're at what they feel is the peak. Is it the peak? To be honest, I know people who 2 years ago sold off. They decided to rent for a year because they thought they were at the peak, so they were going to sell high, buy low. Well, over the course of the last 2 years, prices have gone up another 10 to 15%, depending on where you are. Right. So that's right. Don't play the market that way because we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. And everyone always points to 2008. It's like, oh, I bought a house and then it crashed. And that sucks. But nobody knew. Nobody had a crystal ball to know. And, some people got lucky and timed it where when they had to get a house, it was after the bubble burst. And a lot of those people who had cash at the time bought up a lot of houses, fixed them up, rented them out. And then those people are now selling those houses off because the way things are, they think they're at the peak now, Yeah. So I think that's a part of it. I think people who are in a position where they have extra houses, investment houses or anything like that, I think they're starting to unload that inventory to become cash strong. So if it does drop, they're in a position to buy back up.
Okay.
So at least from the people I've been interacting with. Now, people who have to move and you're not in a position of having a second home or a vacation home or whatever, well, those people, you're going to buy and sell when you need to. And I'll hear comments like, well, if I sell now, I'm going to get good money. But if I buy, I'm going to have to overpay too. Well, that's true. But it's the same in reverse. If the market drops, you're going to make less on your house, but you're also going to pay less for the house you move into. So, it's the tides, rising tides lift all boats. Well, a sinking tide lowers all boats, so it's all relative. You know, especially if you're making a lateral move. If you're going to get 20% too much on the sale of your house, you're probably going to overpay 20%. It washes out. So
Okay.
so that's really where that's at. So, you know, if you need to buy or sell a house, the best time is when you can afford it. That's the real answer. A house is not too many people treat their homes as investments. In the long run, yes, it is an investment. But in the short run, you need a place to live. You need shelter from storms. You need shelter from the cold or the heat. A home provides that. It's security. It's a lot more than just an investment. And what am I going to make? You know, let's say over the course of 20 years, you lose $20,000 on the house because property values drop. Well, over 20 years, you only paid $1,000 a year to live in the house. Then,
Yeah.
if you only lost 20, that's way cheaper than paying rent every month, which is going to be 1,500, 2,000 a month that you'll never
Right.
get back. So, anyways, give us a call. We mean it when we say and I'm going to put this up on the screen. We mean it when we say we make it, you know, relationships are number one priority. We talk to you, we learn what your goals and needs are, and do that. I just want to do a quick walkthrough. This is our newest house. It's on Dixie Highway in Ira Township. It's a beautiful lakefront property. As you can see, it's in great shape. But look at this. When you come into the house, you enter through the door. This is a virtual tour that we had done of the house. If you have an Oculus, you can go and you can look around through the Oculus. But you can go right out the door here. Look at this view. This is the main deck here, which is a full-length deck along the back of the house. The entry level, this is the entry level through the front, but then there's a walkout basement down below. There's also a balcony up here that's off the master bedroom. So you're basically at a third level view up there because of the walkout basement. It's really nice. I want to take you upstairs. When you go through these, you click these little dots to go through it. So it's just like walking through the house. But look at this. Imagine waking up every day to this. If you want waterfront living, this is your master bedroom here. And look at that. What a view of Anchor Bay. And you can go right out onto your balcony here. And just look at that. It's amazing. $600,000. It's a steal. It really is. At that price point, you get $1 million view for $600,000 and a beautiful house to go with it with lots of updates. So give us a call. Oh, this is another cool function of this. When you get these 3D views done, look at this. It maps out the house in this way where you can zoom into the individual rooms and see how it is as a floor plan, how it all stacks. Isn't that cool?
That's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah. And you can, so if I only want to see like the basement, for instance, I can move those out. And I think, how do I do this? I think there's a way to maneuver. I'm still new to this, but you can see the basement down there, you know? So it's pretty cool. So this is a new toy we've been playing with our partners at Hamadi. They did a great job. Aerial shots, and here, I'll do that too. One last thing here. Here's the aerial view. So you can look at it. I'll turn off the music though. So you can see waterfront living. It's right off of Anchor Bay, minutes from downtown New Baltimore. 1,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths. Great condition. The whole house is in amazing shape. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's truly move-in ready. And if you have a nice boat, there's a boat lift there on your dock. So you can park your boat right out front. There's tons of marinas right down the street. So where you want to store your boat, there's plenty of options right down the street. So give us a call, 586-232-5144. And we can hook you up with that. One last thing. The other house, I don't have them ready to show. If you're looking for a starter home in South Warren, maybe $100,000, all updated throughout, 700 square feet, no basement, no garage, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So it's small, but with the way prices are now, $100,000 move-in ready, you don't want to miss out on this one. It just went live last night. So once again, awesome. 586-232-5144.
Fantastic. And then, of course, we always have Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital x-rays, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamin, all in a family-oriented environment. Give a call, 734-697-4244. Visit them online at laurelgerfamilychiropractic.com. You can find them on Facebook or at oddmusings.com under Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC. You can check out all the stuff they got going on. They still list massage therapy. That's supposed to be ending this month. I know they're not the best at updating their social medias, but I have mentioned them. They want to make sure they get that updated. And then once they already launch some of their new practice stuff they're going to be doing, they'll be having that available to check out too. So definitely check out Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC. I know I'll be there today because today's my new appointment day.
That's right. You're on Wednesdays now.
I am.
I'm so used to you being Tuesdays.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if I can adjust my schedule for this.
I know. It worked out good because nice thing is I love having the Tuesdays a little more free where I didn't have a midday break to have to go to an appointment because yesterday I went and saw Guardians. We'll talk about that today. It's free popcorn Tuesday at Imagine Theaters. I upgrade that for $2 to the large one so I can eat it and then refill it and take it home. So I have some at home as well. And you can't beat that. $2, get a big old giant thing of popcorn.
Yeah.
And then
or if you get their we're a member, what do they call it? The premium membership or whatever they have.
Yep.
Popcorn all the time, $1.
Oh.
So
there you go.
We buy the refill bucket.
Oh, okay. So you did the refill bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. You do the refill bucket, it's $25 for a year. And if you don't have the membership, it's $2 to refill every time. Because of the membership, it's $1. We go there at least once a week, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, just to fill up the popcorn and go back home.
Yeah.
And so get fresh popcorn if you're watching a movie, whatever. And so we definitely get our money's worth paying that $25.
And I've seen those. I did that one year. For me, I was like, it works out okay, but I like getting just the big old bucket. And then I've got take home, got plenty in for what I end up spending because usually it's like a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, and get a giant popcorn. And it's like, about equals out.
Yeah. For Jill, she
needs her own for her ranch topping, you know.
Well, for her, it's a bowl of ranch topping and with a couple popcorn kernels in there. I'm like, how do you not? Like, I just like the first time I took popcorn from her and took a bite. I felt like ever see like a slug have salt poured on it. And so I felt like I was shriveling up, and I'm like, like how do you eat this?
Yeah, they put enough salt on them as it is. So, I don't mind some of the flavors. I've done the flavored stuff before, and it's okay. Yeah. But it's definitely you got it. Yeah, you put a lot of sodium added in.
Yeah, for me, I like straight up popcorn.
Oh, that's me. I regular straight up butter, lots of butter.
Yeah,
you know, I want like greasy hands. You know, I want to leave and like I've been grease all over me because it's been dripping from everywhere, and and that's not a good thing. And then give me a nice giant Coca-Cola, and I'm good. So, but yeah. So, so what else you do? I'm going to talk. Last week I went to the Indiana Comic-Con.
Yes,
and talk about that a little bit. This is the third one since COVID, but I'm going to say this is really the first one that they've been people could really truly plan for because first one was in October of 2021. Yeah. Then they had one just about 6 months later in April of last year, and it was on Easter Sunday, and people were still recovering from everything, getting back to it was just too soon. This year being a year later, the crowds really came out this year. They had more ticket sales this year than years before. Part of it was they had a really good guest list. And this is also the first one I would say that FX or was it Fan X, not Fan Expo, but Fan X that does the Salt Lake City show has bought them. That it's truly their show that they were to build from the ground. Lexi's still there. She still runs it. It's great for us on the dealer side, vendor side. But we saw they had a really big guest list. A lot of guests came in, and I didn't get a chance to go meet anybody, partly because I'm just kind of watching the money right now. But they had like Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy. Trying to think what else. They had the voice actors from Clone Wars, so the voice of Ahsoka, Ashley Eckstein, she was there. Saw her walking around for a minute with one of the other guys I didn't recognize, but I'm sure he was one of the other voice actors, things like that. So there's probably a good celebrity draw for that. Grant from the Flash, who plays Flash.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was expensive, boy. He was $120 an autograph.
Well, he is the
So,
most popular Flash, I believe. A
yes.
lot of fans wanted him to be the replacement, and really, I wish they did it, but um, with how popular he is, I really liked him.
Yep.
The setup for the upcoming Flash film, it would have been a perfect setup to have Ezra Miller exit the franchise and bring uh, Grant in to the franchise on the
Yeah.
movie level. It would have been a perfect way to do it.
Problem
But
it's just like a lot of things. You got two different groups within Warner Brothers that
yes,
were handling that, and they don't want to always play nice with each other. So,
but for
morning,
whatever
Kevin.
reason,
Morning,
good
Kevin.
morning, Kevin. Glad to have you in here.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, based on what I'm reading, it sounds like they're going to continue with Ezra Miller even moving forward, which amazes me. I
Well,
mean, he has
I
been
think a lot
found
of right.
guilty of major things.
Yeah, I think right now with everything with it, it's not about necessarily moving forward. It's about trying to see if they can get enough people to come see this movie.
Yeah,
Um,
could be.
and personally, I think he's got serious issues, and
He
he needs to
does.
go away and not deal with this
But
stuff
how
right now.
many
So,
actors are kicked off of projects just by mere innuendo? No proof. And this guy is actually found guilty on things.
yeah.
And they, for some reason, they're keeping him. So it will be, yeah, like you said, it could be damage control just to maximize what they get for this particular film. So it'll
Oh,
be interesting to see moving forward what they truly do.
they're using this as a way to. It's basically a way of them to reset the DC universe for going forward. So they're using it with that in mind. Um, but I think it's just yeah, I think it's just a major problem. I think it's
Yeah. I
issues with
mean, like
that.
for
So
me, I'll say that I am refusing to see the Flash film because of him. I don't want to support anything with him in it. It's really these aren't minor charges he has. It's troubling the stuff he's done,
mhm.
and I just can't support it. And from watching the trailer, this has the potential, based on the trailer at least, of being my favorite superhero movie of the year.
Mhm.
Um, everything about it I am loving in the trailer, which for DC movies typically they don't excite me. This one I'm loving, and it's like nope, I'm not going to go. And
Right.
and I do know other people who have similar thoughts, so it's going to hurt them keeping them.
I think so. I think I think part of it was a lot of the stuff that as it started coming out. This film has been done for a while in a lot of ways. They had to do refilms, things like that, and I think that they had to finish it because it's like it's too much. They literally this has got almost 200 million involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's just a matter of I think they just want to get out there. They hope people go
Yeah.
see it, but
It is
these go.
interesting. It
But
is interesting though. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
but
interrupted.
talk about the problems that if you Google Ezra Miller, I just did it, you're gonna see everything, and it's not like this was like ancient history. Like someone says, "Oh, 20 years ago, when they first had social media, someone said something." No, this is stuff from March,
Oh yeah,
April. There's stuff, still being posted on that, and things like that. So
yeah.
it's
I just can't support it, and
yeah.
like now these are different companies. So, but like Johnny Depp, just off of mere accusation,
Hmm.
was kicked off of a major franchise that fans loved, and even after it came out that Amber Heard lied,
Hmm.
it's like nope, he's still gone. And now they made it so bad, he's like, I don't even want to go back now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if they offer enough money, but notice what's no longer on the books is the Margot Robbie Pirates of the Caribbean. I believe they've canceled that because there was so much backlash with them pulling Johnny off.
Yeah. And that's one of the things with the Pirates movies is, there is a lot of good ancillary characters, but really it was the Jack Sparrow character, the Johnny Depp that you went to see. You didn't go see for just everybody else. There's a lot of people you liked in it,
Yeah.
but it was if it's not Johnny Depp, it's not the Jack Sparrow. That's not the movies that people were wanting to see right now.
And he grew that character bigger than life. I mean, he was showing up randomly at the amusement park. He'd show up in full Jack Sparrow gear. He would show up at children's hospitals in full Jack Sparrow gear. He would
He
go to
still does.
schools. He loved that character, and he was a great ambassador for the studio with what he was doing, and he wasn't getting paid to do that. He did it just out of love of his own thing, and and mere accusations, boom, they burned it all to the ground. And that's
Yeah.
why this makes no sense to me. Well, it does. I'm keeping my other thoughts to myself, but it
Yeah.
makes sense. But it makes no sense on the surface. And I've been dying to see Michael Keaton back as Batman,
Right.
and I'm not going to go. Now once it's on YouTube, maybe I'll find people who took clips, and I'll watch some clips maybe of him, just so, because then the money's not going to them. But
Well, and I've seen the trailers, stuff I like. You see, Michael Keaton looks awesome. Which, speaking of
yeah.
that, did you hear the news? Beetlejuice has a release date.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let me pull it back up here. It is him and Jenna Ortega, and according to Variety, so I said, well, it's a good source. It's supposed to hit in 2024. Sounds like September 6th, 2024. Beetlejuice 2. They're supposed
Is
to start
Winona
filming.
Ryder?
Has not said. They haven't said that. Right now, let's see here. There's little information available. The filmmaker is returning with Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, and it does say Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz, and they've added Jenna Ortega as the daughter of Ryder's character, as well as Justin Theroux in a yet to be revealed role.
I was just about to say, I think Jenna Ortega would be a perfect daughter. They could easily have Winona married to a Hispanic. She's Hispanic, right?
I believe she has
Ortega.
yeah. I mean, I believe she does have some Spanish.
Yeah, so
heritage.
easily have her married to a Hispanic husband, and Jenna's the daughter.
Okay.
I think it'd be great. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good, glad to see. Was Johnny Depp in the original Beetlejuice?
No.
He wasn't in those.
No. The original one, a couple of people have passed on, but a couple others just not.
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry was not.
I don't remember all the side.
Yeah,
I remember the main.
All right, so here you go. You had Alec Baldwin. Baldwin played Adam. You had Gina Davis played Barbara. Then of course,
that's right.
Was Beetlejuice. Catherine O'Hara was Delia, the mom. Jeffrey Jones played Charles, the dad. Then you had Winona Ryder as Lydia. Glenn Shaddix was Otho, but I believe he's passed on. Yes, he passed in 2010. I liked him. He's a funny actor.
Yeah.
And then you had a bunch of other ancillary characters, things like that. So,
that's cool.
But yeah, so it's so I know Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis aren't coming back, which is fine. Their story is technically, I think, finished in that way. Although if they're still living in the same house, then they would still be haunting that house. But the problem is, of course, as ghosts, do they age? I mean, they're not going to look anything like. I mean, if you look at Alec Baldwin from his movies in the 80s to even just early 2000s, 15 years later, he looks completely different because he was so thin back then.
Well, with ghosts though, they're going to have to do some level of CGI or whatever, anyways, to make them see through and stuff. So it'd be very easy to do de-aging technology on a ghost.
I have a feeling they're going to have them where they moved on to the next level.
Yeah, or you could, with how much time has passed, there's so much you could do with the story to explain why they're not around.
Yep. So they're not giving anything away on this. So it's a lot of just speculation. Anything else you see right now? They're supposed to start filming in London later this year. So I think it's good. I mean, you're basically getting the point now. It's like Keaton's at a good point. He can still do it. Still have the physicality of the role. He's in his late 60s. How much longer can he do these? So
yeah. So well, makeup wise, it'll cover up the aging.
Oh yeah, and that's not even the thing. I'm thinking more just the physicality of it, because it gets to be too much when they're doing all this de-aging and CGI replacements of the heads on people's bodies and stuff like that. It's funny if it's going to be in jokes, but it can be a little too much. Because Michael Keaton himself is such an expressive person, I think it'd be just way too much work. But I think it'd be good.
Well, it's also nice because we don't. It's easy to forget Michael Keaton started as a comedian.
Yes.
And he does a lot of roles like Batman and stuff, and he does serious roles. It can be easy to forget he started as a comic and a comedic actor. So that's where with Beetlejuice, it'll be nice to get his comedy back.
I think so. I mean, he's definitely got a lot of good humor and stuff like that, and
he does play serious really well too.
And I think it's because he's such a good comedian. It
Yeah.
transfers well to a good serious actor. You look, I mean, some of the best. There's some good actors that are just good serious, but when you get a good comedian and they go and do serious, people are always amazed. I'm like, no, usually a good comedian can transition over. You look like a Robin Williams. You look at
Yep.
like Michael Keaton. You know, just some of the modern ones like that.
Yeah.
You know, they can do both. Jim Carrey, fantastic as a dramatic actor.
Yeah.
Just does a lot more of the comedic stuff because that's what pays the
Yeah.
bills.
Well, I think the key there is why are they comedians? So
Yeah.
many of them actually have a lot of hurt in their past, and they use comedy to get through it
Right.
growing up. So I think when they get older and they become a dramatic actor, they can tap into that pain in a way that a lot of people can't, because we don't know that that's there because the comedy covers it. That's a lot of times a lot of the people.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So
um
I'm excited about that. I think it's
yeah.
definitely going to be a lot of fun. So
Well, I'm excited for something.
yeah.
I still fit in my stormtrooper. I was a little scared. I'm doing my first troop this weekend since the COVID lockdown, so it's gonna. I did it as a rebel pilot for the Christmas parade back in December or November, whenever we did it. But I'm doing my stormtrooper gear this weekend, so I'm like, oh, I gotta face the music and put it on and see if it fits, and it did. So I'm excited.
Well, good. Well, good.
So I'll be at the St. Baldrick's Festival this weekend, Saturday, which looks like it's going to rain, but we'll be under tents and stuff. But they raise money. They shave people's heads for fundraisers. It goes towards cancer. I can't remember if it's childhood cancer or just all forms, but it's a great charity, and I look forward to being there and supporting that. So. And then other Star Wars stuff. That Star Wars Visions is out, season 2, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and I don't think you have either.
No, I haven't. It's
Okay.
on my list of things to try to catch up on.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it this week.
Yeah.
Do that. I also got caught up. Not caught up. Caught up's the wrong word. I started season 3 of Picard. Oh my god, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving season 3.
Yeah.
This is like they are hitting a home run so far, and based on posts I've seen. And reactions from people for how it goes the whole season, it sounds like the entire season's going to be this way. So yep. I'm loving this direction it's going. Can't wait to continue watching that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Not much time. And then Guardians, which we'll talk about. We both saw Guardians Volume 3. So
right, yeah. Well, I said the Indiana Comic-Con. Now, while I was there, we got back from dinner one night, and I just was having a hard time sleeping, so I popped on Netflix and saw they have the Man Called Otto is on Netflix now with Tom.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up watching that.
Another comedian who has segued into drama.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was a trained actor. He went to college for acting, stuff like that. But he always did comedic stuff, starting way back in the 70s. You know, he did like his first big show was Bosom Buddies, comedic, and then he bounced around a little bit. Did a couple dramatic little things here and there, but really didn't hit dramatic until the 90s a little more. But you can see in a lot of his comedic roles, you know, he had to play him a little more straight. You know, there's comedy there, but there's also the drama would come out, and of course, then he does like a movie called Philadelphia. And wins an Oscar, and then turns on and does Forrest Gump, wins another Oscar, and it's gone on from there. He's done a lot of other really good movies over the years. So
yeah, I wanted to see. Did you see that article I sent to you?
I did. It was on the page.
Yeah, so it looks like it's been confirmed, at least according to this website. This is the depth of my research. If it's on the internet, it must be true, but I'm assuming it's true. It'd be an easily debunked thing if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's confirmed that Dave Filoni is the sole writer on all 8 episodes of the Ahsoka series.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. I really trust Filoni's vision, especially when I watch the behind the scenes. You can see the passion he has for staying true to what George intended with the Force, with the larger themes of, Star Wars being about, the importance of a father and son and all these different things, these themes that George would put in. So he really cares about and is passionate about staying true to that. So that gives me a lot more hope here for Ahsoka.
Well, I had always assumed he was the one going to be writing the whole thing, anyways. So
Yeah, I think it's a big deal though that he's sole writer because I don't think he's ever done that. So it shows that they're moving. I think it shows he's moving up the ranks in
okay,
experience within Lucasfilm. Like he was more like the director part. I don't think he was doing the writing solely. I think he kind of was like, "Hey, here's what I want," and then I think they had other writers write it. But
okay,
I'm not 100% sure on that.
yeah,
Um, Definitely looking for it. I love the casting of Ray Stevens, right? In this, as
yeah,
he's got a lot of Count Dooku vibes going here. Um, but
yeah. It's Ray Stevenson.
Ray Stevenson, what did I say?
You said Ray Stevens. Ray
Oh,
Stevens
okay.
was the the Guitar Zan singer.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah, you might know him from Thor, though. He played one of the merry men of Thor's group there.
yeah,
And he played the Punisher in Punisher War Games. He's a great actor, very
hmm
intense, he's a strong actor. So he's going to bring a lot of just natural gravitas to this role. One thing I noticed too is in the trailer, I thought they screwed up in the trailer the lightsabers because I thought he was a Sith or something. And I'm like, that's a weird color red for the lightsaber. And
Well, I've
remember
been
when,
reading. I read about that, and they were
yeah,
talking about that. It's not really truly a Sith; it's something else.
right. And the blades are orange, not red.
Right.
So they're intended to be orange. So remember when they did the special edition and all the Darth Vader sabers, the red changed to a different tone of red and almost looked like a maroon. So I was like, oh, did they screw up the red on this? What's going on? Never thought it'd be orange. So it's meant to be in between orange and red.
Yeah. So it's not like full on Sith, but it's
Correct.
like, but it's more. It's still on dark side.
Right. So Ahsoka, she's like a gray Jedi, they call, or where she's not fully to the light or dark, and she kind of uses the power in her own way. So I'm guessing this is going to be some exploration of those kind of gray areas in the Force, maybe.
Yeah, I
So
mean that's because I mean her lightsabers. We saw this in the
it's white.
cartoon. They went white. You know, when she's not really sided one way or the other, they weren't. They kind of the kyber crystals reflect the person and where they're at within their walk with the Force.
Right. So yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. I can't wait. When is that supposed to come out?
August,
Is
I
it
believe.
August? Okay.
Let's see here. I know it's a few months away yet.
And Rosario Dawson just had a birthday. I think she's 44, I think it said.
Okay.
42, 44, something like that. So happy birthday. Sorry, I just said your age out loud to our tens of fans.
It's not like Shane all over the internet. So, but yeah, I think it's. I want to say I'm trying to see. There's not really anybody listing the date for some reason, but I could swear it was gonna like August or September.
That sounds right.
So, and so I'm looking forward to that. It's there's things we've speculated in the last couple different series within Star Wars, and then this one I'm gonna try not to speculate too much on where it's gonna go because a lot of them haven't gone that way. So I'm just gonna have to
Yeah.
try to really enjoy this journey because I really just hope it's setting up more and more of the future of Star Wars movies and series going through these
Yeah.
and going from there because
I
I'm
definitely think it will.
because it's like I'm still seeing articles pop up about Kathleen Kennedy talking about what she's going to do with the Ray series and everything. I'm reading, going, you're not selling me on this. You're not making it sound like something that people are going to really enjoy. You just said, we're just completely going to destroy what we should have done with Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker. And
One thing that Filoni is excellent at, because he's the master right now in Lucasfilm. It doesn't matter who's actually in charge. The reality is Filoni knows all the ins and outs of what is canon, what is expanded universe, what the fans love. And he's a master at taking those elements out of the expanded universe and weaving them into canon. He's really good at that. And I fully believe one of the reasons why he's the sole writer is he's the only person who can weave this tapestry that's needed to correct the course of Star Wars. It only makes sense with the Veil of the Force being used. It's in the logo, even the symbol in there is the Veil of the Force. So
right.
it is somehow connected here. And the Veil of the Force is the perfect avenue for Filoni, for them to say, this is what we need, this is where we are. And through the Veil of Force to make that connection to get them on track to what they need. So that's what I think they're going to do. Will it be the way I'm thinking in my head? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I trust Filoni to do it.
Yep. So I'm excited to see what he does here because I've enjoyed everything he's worked on so far, Star Wars, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So.
Now, one theory I don't think is going to happen is I don't think Mephisto will be part of this. Like, remember every single Marvel thing. Mephisto's in the background. Mephisto's there. Mephisto's there.
We
like
haven't seen him
everybody, like every little thing, and never nothing.
Yeah.
So who knows if he's ever going to be part of anything? But the fans definitely want it. But who knows with Marvel?
I don't know. So, yeah. Another one I'm gonna get too much into because I'm still watching it. Citadel on.
Oh, that looks good. I
watched the first 2 episodes and I liked it so far.
That's the Russo brothers, right? Who did Winter Soldier?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's.
I definitely want to see that.
Yep. So I'm enjoying that one so far. Priyanka Chopra, that's one of the Jonas Brothers' wives, is really good in this.
And then Rob Stark is in it. Not Rob Stark. He's killed early on. It's one of the Stark sons. Is the main guy in this.
Richard Madden is the main guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot he was even in Game of Thrones. So
yeah, he's. I think he's the first one to die of all the kids.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be king, I think, originally after Rob. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, he's the one that dies in the Red Wedding.
Richard Madden, he played Rob Stark.
It was Rob
and Stark. Prince Kit in Disney's Cinderella. So he played Rob Stark. So and then he was David Budd in the BBC miniseries Bodyguard. So he's good too. I like him in this. It's interesting. It's a little typical of the spy genre, but they're doing the whole they lose their memories and stuff like that to get things going.
Yeah.
And then now they're kind of going through the whole thing. So I'm just 2 episodes in, enjoying it so far. So definitely.
I think the Russo brothers do such a good job with that style of story too. Like to this day, I think my favorite standalone superhero movie is still Winter Soldier, just as a standalone, not looking at larger arcs and all that. Right. It's just such a satisfying movie.
Yeah. They said Russo brothers. This is it's Josh Applebaum, Brian O, and David Well.
Who's the Russo brothers? They got something.
They got something else too. Yeah.
Well, Citadel looks good. But if it's not the Russo brothers, forget it. No, just kidding. It says Citadel on here.
Well, maybe they're executive producing it.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're executive producers. Yeah, okay. Russo brothers acting as executive producers. So that's it. So they're kind of overseeing it.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, I liked it so far.
Nice. There's that, and the other one I want to see is Rabbit Hole. Kiefer Sutherland is in it.
I haven't. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either. So that one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I went through like 2 to 3 years of streaming services being like, I wish something good was on. Now there's too much. It's like I can't keep up. I got to quit my job just to watch everything. Rabbit Hole is on Paramount, and that's with Kiefer Sutherland. It definitely has a feel of like 24 or something. Like he's playing that type of espionage agent. In that. So that looks really good too.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a text. There's a semi scattered all over the highway on I-94 westbound towards Jackson Road.
Oh.
Which is where I'll be heading. So it looks like I'll be having to go the back way when I go to the chiropractor. So but yeah, so anybody that's listening or watching out in the Ann Arbor area, 94 is jacked up. Ain't going nowhere. So I'll be driving the back roads. So, but yeah. So hey, we got it's 10:40. So probably should get into Guardians a little bit.
Yep, I've got my Guardians Volume 2 mug rocking it. I always have that going. So
yeah,
I like it because it holds a lot of coffee. Look how big that cup is. I think I fit 2 cups of coffee in this one. All right. So how should we start with Guardians Volume 3?
Well, I'll just start with this. I enjoyed it. just looking at the three Guardians movies, I told Scott last night it's my second favorite. The first one is still my favorite, Volume One. So my order would be Volume One, Volume Three, Volume Two for that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't do. I know you do a full list of all the Marvel ones. I don't do a full list of where they fit within my viewing at the time. Just I think that as I've get more into it down the road with the different phases, it's hard for me to say, one that comes later than one before is better, and vice versa,
Yeah.
as things constantly change. But I like how you do it because do it based on your initial viewing of a movie.
Yep. And some movies,
So,
like I point out, Ragnarok over time got even better for me, or Age of Ultron.
yep.
My initial viewing, I didn't like it as much. Now I like it much more because it got stronger as more of the lore got built.
And that's
So this is
a lot of those phases within that leading up through the end game. You
mhm,
kind of, when you saw them initially, people are like, I mean, they still made good money, but people go back watching like, oh, now I
yeah.
get it because they said something two films later that makes
Hmm.
sense from what they said here, and that was,
Iron Man 3 is another one. That one
yeah,
I enjoy more now than I did at the time. You know, so for
yeah,
me, Guardians Volume 3 falls somewhere around, for me, Black Widow, Iron Man 2, Age of Ultron, Thor Dark World. It's kind of in that range
yeah,
for me, in that pack. And when people see my list, they'll be like, oh my God, you have it so low. You got to understand, there's now 32 movies, of which 30 of them I really like. so so there's like a, just because it's lower on the list doesn't mean I didn't like it. It just,
right,
I'm trying to rank something that's very hard to rank because there's so much subjective stuff involved.
yeah,
So yeah, I still enjoyed Guardians Volume 3, don't get me wrong. But it is lower on the list for me of the overall. I liked like Spider-Man Homecoming. I liked Winter Soldier. Volume 1 for me, Guardians Volume 1 is my second all-time favorite Marvel movie. So for me, it's gonna be hard to beat that.
yeah.
It's, I really like it a lot. But overall, I enjoyed it. Is it a movie I'm gonna watch over and over again? Probably not. Guardians Galaxy Volume 1, I can still watch over and over again.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching this one again. Don't know if I'll see it in a theater again, but I enjoyed watching it. I want to watch it again. There's a lot of different things throughout it that I like seeing. They have a lot of background stuff going on in a couple of the scenes, especially in the Nowhere,
Yeah,
which is now the Guardians headquarters.
yeah,
Um, things like that. It's in terms of the first one I saw, I was just blown away, and I think it's tough to capture that. It's you can almost have to liken when you get blown away by a movie by what you read about with people that take
yeah.
drugs. They're always chasing that initial high, and it's
Right.
always tough to beat that. And
Well,
and that's I think true in almost every franchise. There's a lot of stuff you enjoy them all, but you never get that same
right.
excitement you got from the first time you saw the first one.
Right. Well, part of it too is the newness.
Hmm.
Volume 1, the use of the music, the way they stylized the filming, it became the signature of this. Well, at the time, it was fresh.
Yep.
Just like Matrix, the first Matrix movie, it was like, holy cow, you got bullet speed and the slow motion, and it was amazing. Well, by the time you get to the third one, it's like, okay, I've seen this gimmick.
Yes.
Like we've already seen the behind the scenes. We know how you did the slow motion. All the magic is gone.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, it's more important to actually still include it, but you actually use it less as it goes on and find something new to freshen it up. I just feel like in this one, they they overused, I felt, the gimmicks that we loved in the first one, which have now become old. Still put them in, but find something fresh to stick in my mind. Now the Rocket storyline, I absolutely loved. To me,
Yes.
that was A plus plus. That part, they did great on tugging the emotional strings and everything. That I absolutely loved. Liked seeing his background and how that tied into who he becomes. We see how grumpy he is and what he's kind of the grumpy one in the group, but you now know why.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
And it really set up who ended up being the main bad guy in this throughout the whole movie. It was tied into Rocket because
Yes.
um, of how they went. And I liked, Scott and I talked. Scott, I think you said you'd rather have seen them do more of the Rocket stuff first and then go into the main story. But I liked the way they as a more when I thought about it after
Yeah.
we got the phone last night, thinking about the film too, because I was still processing the film after seeing it.
Yeah.
Um, by doing it where they did the flashbacks, we were seeing how it mirrored Quill's journey at the same time,
Yeah.
dealing with his feel of a loss of love, and Rocket of never,
Yeah.
which find out Rocket actually had some love, but it was revealed as it goes on, but almost feeling like he'd never had love. So they were kind of mirroring each other in a lot of the
Yeah.
same ways.
Yeah.
And even some of the other characters, a little bit within that too, were all dealing with a little bit of that same aspects of their lives, that of loss and discovery and
Yeah.
figuring out things. And
For me, I didn't mind the flashback portion of it. I think my bigger issue was the bad guy scenario. I wish they would either have made Adam Warlock a larger role, make him more of a bad guy, more of a threat that then changes over, or take him out and make the what I forget what his name even was, the Eternal guy or whatever they called him.
yeah.
Make him more. I felt like it was competing for too much. I don't know. I was expecting so much more. There was so much hype ever since the end of Volume 1, where it's revealed he's hatched. In Volume 2, he was supposed to be in, and actually Nathan Fillion was playing that role. They cut him out, and then they brought Nathan Fillion back as a guard
Well,
here.
actually, Nathan Fillion, no, they revealed the Adam at the end of Volume 2, because that's when, remember, at the beginning of Volume 1 is when they steal the battery.
Who
And
was
then
that? Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion played the giant guy in jail, but Nathan Fillion was supposed to play Wonder Man originally.
Wonder Man. That's who he was going
And
to
that
play.
was
Thank you.
that was actually just supposed to be part of the MCU, not so much Guardians.
Wonder Man. You're right.
Yeah.
It was Wonder Man. But anyways, I was expecting more of his character, and I just felt he came off kind of goofy, and I had so much expectation for this character. And part of that's on me. I put expectations, but I was really excited. When I saw the actor in makeup and everything for this role,
Mhm.
I was like really excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And I just felt like it kind of was like he became a punchline.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I didn't like.
Well, the problem with we talked about this last night, with the Adam Warlock character is, um, when they revealed him, it was like, okay, what I was expecting when they revealed him at the end of Guardians 2 was it was going to become a factor within the Infinity Gauntlet end
Yes.
game, and they didn't. They bypassed all of that,
Right.
and because that's how he got introduced towards the end of the Infinity War, or the Infinity Gauntlet series in the comics, and then they created Infinity War that followed the Adam Warlock, that was a continue on with the gemstone and stuff like that. So they completely changed where he was going with that, and I think that was part of the problem with this character. Okay, James Gunn's like, I have this character I created and introduced. I should bring him back in, and the best way he could do it was to make him almost a pawn of the High Evolutionary. That's the guy's name. And boy, and he's like his name's like Chagudi Uji. I liked him. I thought he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a name that I'm sorry I'm butchering, but it's uh it's like was it Chiwetel Ejiofor? I had to learn how to pronounce their names down the road and stuff like that. But he's been in a bunch of other stuff. He was in Peacemaker, John Wick Chapter 2. I knew I'd recognize him for this Designated Survivor. So he's been around in a bunch of other stuff over the last several years. Played in the King Lear movie. He's a good actor. I liked him in the role in this. They made him the bad guy, but it did take away from the Adam Warlock character. See, that character was supposed to have been more of a factor, and
Right.
I kind of thought that it would have been the one he called his mother, who was, in the second film that they had worked for, that helped create this character. But you find out, no, it's just High Guy, and he's also the one that created Rocket. And his whole thing is he's not trying to make, remake people or humanity or whatever. He's trying to make the perfect human, as he kept putting it. So he definitely has a God complex. And even in fact, in one scene, we see that where he said, there is no God. And that's why I had to step up. And then everybody else around was like, no, there is a God. And they all draw their weapons on him.
Right.
In that, but it was definitely, he was the one that created Rocket. He wanted Rocket because Rocket, as he put it, was the only, by the way, if you're watching this, you haven't seen it. This is all spoilers.
Spoilers.
You haven't figured it out yet.
Spoiler alert.
But that's why I wait till the end to do these. But the thing is that, the reason he wanted Rocket's brain was, while they could program in, and they showed a bunch of people, including one of them that became a Guardian at the end. We can talk about that a little bit too, but wanted Rocket's brain because he's the only one that actually could create, where the others could just follow instructions, essentially, is the basic way to put it.
The other thing that's kind of bugging me with Marvel lately is like this god guy,
Mhm.
he would have been a perfect character for a larger story arc. Like this could have been like carry him forward maybe for these new guardians or whatever they do. Like he'd be like just like with Gore, the God Butcher. That would have
Yeah.
been a perfect 3 movie arc villain, you know. And it's like this one also hit the power level he had and stuff. He would have been a perfect 3 movie arc villain.
Yeah.
And I just wish I just feel like there's like they're on the edge of like get back. I want Marvel to get back to like the greatness they had in phase 2 and 3. And it's like you're right there, and then it doesn't happen. So I don't
Well,
know.
and I agree on that. I think that they are not giving us credence to their villains. They're not allowing their villains to actually truly be villains and continue on. It's all like one shot and done. You know, the Gore the God Butcher that was one that should have been around for a while. You know, this guy here could have definitely carried on even further. I liked him on that aspect of that. You
Right.
know, so, but like I said, with the whole Rocket story, we got Rocket's full thing. We learned that Rocket there was 3 other creatures that were all manipulated like he was in different
Yeah.
ways. One of them was Lila, who was the otter,
Yep.
voiced by Judy Greer.
Oh, that's who
No,
that
no, sorry,
was.
not Judy Greer. Sorry, that
Oh.
was sorry, Linda Cardellini did that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Judy Greer did War Pig. Yeah,
Nice
it's there's a ton of
cameos.
cameos in this. I mean, we see Nathan Fillion, we see him for for his face on that. I mean, he's friends with all these guys. And if you look at the Ravagers, there's a certain red hair female. Well, that was Molly Quinn that played Nathan Fillion's daughter on Castle.
Yep.
She plays a Ravager, and there's all kinds of other ones they list throughout the whole thing. I mean, Ving Rhames is in this. Of course, we see Sylvester Stallone. Michael Rosenbaum played Martinex. So a lot of creatures, stuff like that. So Lloyd Kaufman from Troma Pictures is in this. I'm not sure who he plays on that, but I did find it interesting. They got Linda Cardellini to do the voice of Lila, and she's also Hawkeye's wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Pete Davis is in this somewhere. It says too. Lee
Oh, is
Pace
he? I
says
didn't
Lee
know that.
Pace on this, but I don't know if because they have a flashback of his characters. But Margot Robbie supposedly in this and stuff like that. So a lot of these are ancillary characters. You don't necessarily see them, but and then of course Sean Gunn was great as Kraglin again. You know,
I did.
things like that. So
I thought it was like this part I don't understand, but it was funny and goofy. But
mhm.
like, I wanted to be like, you know, for Nathan Fillion, those guys.
Yeah.
Like, is he bread man? like what were those outfits? It looked
I
like
know.
he had like loaves of bread all over him.
Yeah, it was like a power suit. But it was like a poofy power suit.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it as much as bread. I thought it looked like they had, taken like giant circus peanuts and
Yeah. It's just like such a good. Now, what
yeah,
they were going for was everything on this station was organically grown.
yeah,
So I'm guessing this was supposed to be some kind of flesh
yeah,
armor.
yeah. It was some
But
kind of like fungus armor or something like that because it's
yeah.
all yeah, yeah.
But
Because
it
even the
was just
station
funny.
itself was an organic
Yeah.
or organism, I should say. So,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah,
overall it was fine. It was what it was.
I liked the movie. I felt it wrapped up this group of Guardians storylines.
Yeah.
They basically at the end they place them where they go. Star Lord goes back to Earth to see his grandpa when he finds out his grandpa's still
Yeah.
alive, and to see that he dealt with his issues with Gamora having her die, seeing the new Gamora, and through this thing, having her not get with him, which I was glad they didn't do that. I was afraid they were going to have her also know, I guess I really do love you, and then stay with him, and that would have been ridiculous. But I like the fact that she said
I did.
no. I think that she goes, she can
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie, she realized that I could see where the other Gamora would have
Yeah.
had
I
fun
think the
with you.
scene where they really show that developing was them saving Rocket.
Yeah,
And you can see her watching them save him. And so I think that's where that switch comes in. Personally, I would have rather see them together again, but
well, I think they left it open for they could mention it. Now, of course, she says she's
yeah.
done, which I could see her
Right,
being
that's
done
the
with
other
them.
aspect. If she signed a contract, they might have made them back together,
Yeah. And
but
then we at the end of the thing, the last thing it says is Star Lord will be back, which I thought was funny because you see there's 2 end credits. You got the one with the new Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's what you got. And Rocket is the new captain.
yep, he's the new captain, and you
And
got Groot.
you
I
got
never know. James Gunn's brother plays that one guy. He never
Kraglin.
has the mohawk. Cracklin. So
Fraglin.
he's part of it. You got
Yeah.
the Adam Warlock is part of them. Is Nebula with them? Nebula's with
Uh,
the new ones, right?
yep,
Or did she
yep.
go off?
She's with them. No, she's running
No, she
the.
went. She's running the station
She's
with
running the
Drax.
station. Yeah.
I did like how they wrapped that up. So you got Drax, who like they reveal like you weren't meant to be as a destroyer, you were meant to be a dad, and
Right.
because they saw how he interacted with the kids, and that does remind you going back to the origins. It was Thanos took his daughter,
Right.
and that's what made him the destroyer. So you kind of see the healing there, where as he reunites with all these children that they helped to save.
Yeah.
Nebula, who was a loner, is now leading a colony here.
Right.
Mantis is
Uh,
going off on her own.
yeah,
So
and so I think we're going to see her pop up here and there at
I do
different
too.
times. So it's a lot of the main ones have been around for a while. They're going on to other things. David Batista had said he's really tired of the makeup and everything. That's a lot of why they had him in a Christmas sweater for the Christmas special, and then they had him in an outfit the whole time. It was just less makeup, less time, and as he's aged, I mean, he's in his 50s now. It's just getting harder over the last almost 10 years of doing these to do some of the stuff they want to do.
Yeah. So
So
evidently Drax's nipples can handle material now.
yeah. So here we go.
Remember in the first one, it was it chafed my nipples or something.
Yeah.
That's why he wouldn't wear a shirt.
Yeah. The new Guardians though right now is Rocket, Groot, Adam Warlock, Kraglin, Cosmo the Space Dog, and then the little gray hair girl is the main one. But she's got powers, but she's a character. I looked it up and I'm trying to find who she was, because she was a character in the comics that is and I can't remember her name, but she was supposed to be now we know that this is coming from the guy, but she's supposed to have been Captain Marvel's daughter. So the female version, which they could still do and tie her into the Marvels if they're going to go that route. Because if you notice, when they start to go after these animals that are coming to attack the people, she has powers. They never explored that before, but she's got a power. So I think that was them setting that up, if they're even going to go that route.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So it was. I looked it up last night, and for some reason I just can't find it anywhere.
It's okay. But so we do have a new group, which in the comic series they were always rotating characters, I believe.
Yeah.
In the comics also, so it's never been intended to be one group of people. So this is normal here. This new group, they could use them as their own movies now. They can put them into other things. Who knows? A Disney series. But you have all those pieces in place. The other characters, they're chess pieces that can be used. They already said Star-Lord will be back. So we know he'll be back in some capacity. Mantis, I predict, will be back in some capacity. The rest, probably not, as far as Drax.
Yeah, Batista says he's done. Karen Gillan, she's got other stuff going on. So, I mean, I can see her come back as Nebula. I've never heard her say she was done, but I can see her come back and something like that. I know Bradley Cooper, he could do Rocket as the voice anytime. And then,
and a big revelation, Groot learned more words.
Yeah, he said a couple more words.
He said, "I love you guys."
Yeah, we also had our first F-bomb in the Marvel universe.
Yep.
And I thought and that's one thing I will say about this, I thought was a little too much, was the swearing.
Yeah.
It popped up a little
Guardians,
more than normal. So
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, Guardians always felt like it should be more family friendly.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, it didn't bother me. I mean, the problem is other parents. I mean, let's be honest. When I went and saw Deadpool, which spent months telling everyone don't bring your kids, I look around, there's 4-year-olds. So I guess parents just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the F-bomb is small compared to the scene in Deadpool where they're getting it on. And, it's like, really? You want your 4-year-old here? Like, okay.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. You'll have to go back and look at the IMDb list of the credits. They're kind of funny, because I was trying to find out the character Aisha. Okay, that's the gold one. Elizabeth Debicki here, but you go through the stuff here of who they were. I like this. There's actually a guy credit. Where'd it go? Gosh, internet's acting a little slow here. Someone's just animal turtle experiment. The other one is like, here it goes. The guy is credited. Jonathan Mercedes is credited as Gomorrah shoots this guy with an exclamation point. And then you have Carrot Head Guard and Carrot Head's friend. And stuff like that. So I mean, they were. I mean, the Hume Animal is just kind of named. They had the Rabbit King. That's kind of what they were calling those things that were mixes. So, but yeah, it's Rabbit Businessman. They had all the Hume Animals are all the ones that I guess are the ones on the planet that gets destroyed. And there's all the ones when the Drax, blasts the one in the face with the dodgeball. So.
Oh yeah. Well.
So yeah.
So the next one is the Marvels, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the next Marvel movie will be Marvels. Not really thrilled with that one.
I'm honestly going to skip it. The way Marvel is right now, even the first Captain Marvel, it was okay. I didn't mind it, but what the parts I liked about it was its connection to the larger story.
Right.
Right now, Marvel is completely floundering on their larger story arc. And without that present, I just have no desire to see the Marvels. So I'm going to be skipping that one. Probably my first skipped. I think that's my first skipped Marvel movie out of all 32.
I've seen them all, and I think I'm looking forward to Secret Invasion, the series, and with Ant-Man, Secret Invasion though, because it's got Nick Fury.
Yeah.
If there's something in that leads into the Marvels, I'm like, okay, I'm liking this storyline, then maybe I'll want to go see it. But I couldn't get through the Ms. Marvel's series. I know some people like it. I just didn't like it. But yeah, Ms. Marvel, or the Marvels is the next major movie to come out. And then we still have later this year the TV series of Echo, Loki. They're still showing Ironheart, but I thought that was getting canceled because they put her in the...
that was canceled, is my understanding.
So I thought. And then there's supposedly Agatha, Covenant of Chaos is still being talked about. Looking forward to Daredevil. And then really movie-wise, next year is the Captain America New World Order with Anthony Mackie. So I'm looking forward to that.
I am looking forward to that. I hope that puts everything back on track.
I do too.
There's a lot that can be done between, we got Loki season 2.
Yep.
And that storyline, we got the Captain America movie. So there's opportunities here. Hopefully we just get through phase 5 here, and phase 6 is getting back on track.
I hope so. We'll have to see that. So,
and people keep bringing up superhero fatigue. It's not superhero fatigue. It's bad writing fatigue. There's
that's
enough
what it is.
options that we don't have to tolerate bad writing. We can just say no.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It is it's just bad writing. I'm just tired of that. So, I'm still bugging me about that little girl though. What her name? Here it goes. Phyla Vel was the name that they gave her in the comics.
Okay.
And she's everything I've seen is she's more adult. So that's who the character I believe is.
Okay.
That the little girl was. And so I think that's something that could, maybe she'll mature faster. And if they want to, do something with her in the future, I could see her maybe if she is going to be tied into the Captain Marvel. She looked like she had. So when they take off the fight, she powers up a little bit, similar to the powers you see with Captain Marvel. So,
right.
So maybe there's something tied into there. So,
very good.
So we'll see it. Hey, great show. Definitely go see Guardians if you're into those movies, because I think it's well worth seeing at least once.
Yeah.
And then I've got to see what else I want to go see in the
just
theaters.
A reminder too, in this weekend is Mother's Day.
Yep.
Weekend. Don't forget your mom. And the weekend after is Motor City.
Yep. I will be at G29.
And I'll be at a different table.
You'll be at H something or other.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I got an email on Sunday.
Yeah, I got an email. I just haven't looked at it yet.
So let's see where I'm at G29. You're facing the same way I am, but there is somebody across from you, but you're in the last row.
With my luck, they put me right in front of a pillar.
I didn't see one on the map, but who knows? Okay. If it's not a pillar, they'll probably have protesters in front of your table the whole time.
Or worse, teenagers who just want to hang out and talk.
Yeah, they'll be on the other side where all the celebrities are, I'm sure, because they want to hang over there and
Yeah,
all that
but
stuff.
I'm really looking forward. I have my new fabric banners that will be debuting at Motor
Ooh.
City. I copied Brett, used his source for his banners, which
Yep.
great quality. I love the fabric. I got fabric banners a few years ago, and they were just thin enough that the lighting behind your booth would wash it out, and it'd be hard to see. These are nice and thick, so it blocks
Yeah,
that light out.
I
So
used a
it's
lot of
clear.
black on mine
Yep.
initially with the colored stuff, and the colors are
Yep.
very rich in that. I didn't hang
Yeah.
my banner this last week, and I did all prints, uh, just to kind of cover the whole thing because I was just what I had set up. Originally, I was going to do
Yeah.
half banner, half prints. So I just go all prints. But I'll do a half banner, half print next weekend. I will have my covers for Crimson Shadows. I have a few left of the trades for Poe, and then I've got all my Boomtown comics
Yep.
and some artwork. So definitely come out, support the cause. We do take cash even if you don't want to buy something.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, tips for liking the art and comics for not buying are accepted.
That's right.
All right, hey,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.